Morning. So we're up to Siman Shin Ayin Vov Seif Base. Says the Mechaber, Be'er shebe'emtza hashvil. We've got a well which is in the middle of a little path, a little street, bein shnei kosle Chatzeros, between two walls of two Chatzeros. It's a picture there, number 13 in the Dirshu. Right, so you've got a Chatzer on either side, and you've got like a little cul-de-sac, let's call it, like a little shvil. And importantly, it's closed off at the end, and you've got a well in between the two Chatzeros. So afalpi shehu mufleges mikoisel ze arba tfachim or mikoisel ze arba tfachim, even though there is a gap of 4 tfachim from each wall to the beginning of the be'er, shnehem memalim mimenu. Both Chatzeros can draw water from that well on Shabbos. Ve'enam strichim zizim al gabon. They don't need any zizim. Those are little boards that come out of the wall. There is a shit in the Gemara which says you need that. You don't even need that. You don't pass like that. She'ein adam oise al chaver derech chaver. And even though both have access, and generally speaking, we've always said in the past that if two Chatzeros have access, that restricts on other people from using the Chatzer. But there's a rule, ein adam oise al chaver derech chaver. Since the only way you can get it is through those little windows in the wall of the Chatzer to access the be'er, it doesn't asa. Okay, let's do the. Then the Ramah. For dafka kshein Chatzeros pesuchas l'shvil rak b'chalonos, and dafka if you can only access it by way of those windows, so that's the only way you can access the bear. But if there's more of an opening, then it's a proper entry, and then it would asa. Okay, so that's the rule of the Mechaber. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Shebe'em sashvil hainu. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yud Aleph. Sheyesh kamin mavu cotton. There's some sort of mavu cotton mafsik bein shtei Chatzeros, which is in between these two Chatzeros. V'hu shayach l'shtei Chatzeros, and it somehow belongs to both Chatzeros. Or bar be'emtza, and you've got a pit in the middle, which is in our case filled with water, a be'er. Or mashal shel hadli l'soicha, and you lower the bucket into it. Derech haloin, through the window shebekoisel Chatzeros. So he's essentially just describing that picture. Interestingly, in footnote 14, he says why it's a mavu cotton. So what exactly does that mean? What status is that little cul-de-sac? So he says there in 14, Pirush makom shel rishus hayochid. It has the status of a rishus hayochid. She'ilu hoya shvil ze mefulish, because if there was no back wall over there with that fencing, then it went all the way through. It was mefulish. Mishnei Tzidov the Karamnes of the Rabim, his Bar b'Shulchan Aruch le'el, she'asa lidlois me'aberg, she'urachim dal tfachim me'abatim, ele enkein yesh sevive chulya gevayat yutfachim. Then you wouldn't be able to, and you'd have to have a wall of that well, which would make the well into Rosh Hashanah. But either way, you've got a picket fence at the back there, and that makes it into an area where you're able to take from it. Okay, afal pi shimu fleges, even though the be'er is more than 4 tfachim from this chaloin of the wall of the chotzer, miloshen zeh mashma the kolshkein kashimu fleges pachas. The implication is that if it works, you're allowed to do it when it's more than 4 tfachim. Then kolshkein if the be'er is within 3 tfachim. Va'atam within 4 tfachim. I mean, va'atam the tashmishu derech chaloin. When it comes to usage through a window, svir lo l'deyazu, the tomid mikri derech avir. This is always called derech avir. Bein shu muflug arba tvachim or bein pachas arba tvachim, whether it's more or less than 4 tvachim. Mashe kosav loshen kol shekain. What does it mean? What's the chiddush of kol shekain? To lomi boy mu pachas me arba tvachim tashmishu benachas the chotz hasomach. That certainly, if the be'er was within 3 tefachim I keep saying 3, within 4 tefachim, where tashmisha benachas, where it's easy to draw water from the well and to access it, svir leil l'de'ezud bevada ein chaver oisalav, afshla every yachad, your counterpart, the guy on the other side, won't asa, el afilu muflug arba tefachim menu, even if it is more than 4 tefachim from your wall, the gam lechotze hasomach ein benachas, and therefore it's not considered tashmish benachas, afilu hachi ein chaver oisalav kedin. Given the ein tashmishin a derech havir. At the end of the day, since your access is derech havir, then that is the rule. Ein adam oise al chavir derech havir. Certainly, if it's within 4 tefachim, and even if it's more than 4 tefachim, he won't answer it. Okay, ve'enam strichim zizin. Sifkat Yud Gimel says the Mishnah Berurah Bala Fuke Mikan Miman Do'ama Begemara Deboin and Dafka Shiyotzi Kol Echad Ziz Kol Shu Mekoislei Ad leber hekeir shelo yovel etaltel ba'alma mishus abrishus. That comes to exclude the man da'am in the Gemara who says that you need a ziz, some sort of little projectile as a heka, that you won't come to carry mishus lushus. So we discount that opinion. Rak b'chalonos, and we're talking about a situation where you access the be'er by way of the chalonos in the wall of the chotzer, but you have not got a proper access there. Because now the only way to access the be'er is by way of the derech havir, and therefore that's why the shneim einon oisrin zelzeh. But if there was a proper entrance into this shvil from the chotzer, then people could access it properly, tomid, but tashmish gomer with a regular usage, and then you would not be able to use it, afilu derech chalonos, even through the windows. For also kolzman shel yachad, because it's got a status of a chotzer which is not mu'urav, and so long as they didn't make an eruv, they wouldn't be able to use it. But afilu hotzal zizin leman, and even zizin won't help you. So therefore, the important point with this is, number one, there's a picket fence at the back in that little shvil in picture 13, and two, there is no pesach going from each chotzer to that shvil, but there's just a derech chalonos, and therefore derech havir eina oiseh. Okay, let's finish off the Ramah. V'yesh oimrim that if it's not muflug for, then einam oisrim afilu b'kiyai gavna. Then oisrim, if it's not muflug for tvachim, then it would asa afilu b'kiyai gavna. So it says in Mishnah Berurah, what does that mean? Sivkot and Tezvav. V'yesh oimrim de'azu svirle lehepech midei kamaisa. This shitta that the Ramah is bringing is exactly opposite to the first opinion. De'ein lahatirak dafka me'habak shabar muflug min kos Chatzeros arbot tfachim. That you only allow it when the burr is muflug for tfachim. The oz mikri tashmish derech havir. That's when it's called tashmish derech havir. Avol kashu pachas me'arbot tfachim l'shneim. But if it was within 4 tfachim, lo mikri derech havir. That's not called derech havir. Ela choshev hatashmish l'shneim benachas. It's called easy usage for both. And they would indeed us on each other. Afilu im ein pesachim lechatzeros, even if you haven't got any proper openings to the chotzer. The tashmishin hurak derech chalonos shebekosel, and the only way to access it is through these walls, these holes in the wall. Or pasuk achreinim kadezu, in fact pasuk like this. So according to the first opinion, we're describing this picture 13. You've got chotzer on either side. You've got this little shvil, which is the Rishus HaYachid, and you've got the fence at the back. So we've said that since there's no Pesach there, they don't ask, there's Shneim Ein Ma'osrim Zalzeh, and you're allowed to access the well by way of the Chalonos, because Derech Ein Odom Oisach Haver Derech Haver. And according to the first opinion, that certainly if it's less than 3 Tvachim, but even if it's more Tvachim, that's still called Tashmish Derech Haver, and you're able to use it. According to the Yesh Omrim, that it's Yesh Omrim Ein Maflogim Arba Tvachim, then Oisrim, then if it's less than 3 Tvachim, it would asa, because it's considered Tashmish Benachas, and therefore each one would asa on each other, and that's in fact how we paskin. Okay, good. That is Sif Beis. Sif Gimel. Shtei Chatzeros or Beneim Shloisha Charovos. Now, you've got 2 Chatzeros, and in between them, you've got Shloisha Charovos, 3 sort of derelict ruins. If you look at the picture, number 19, he pictures it there. So you've got a chotzer on either side, and then you've got 3 ruins in between them. So what's the halacha there? Can I carry from my chotzer into the ruin next door to me, and what was the status of the middle one? So says the Machaba, Shtei Chatzeros, you've got 2 Chatzeros, so Beineim Shloisha Charovos, and 3 Churvas, 3 ruins in between. Kol echad muta ba'isa she'etzle lishtamish b'derech halonos alidei zrika. So each chotzer can use the ruin immediately next to it, derech zrika, by throwing things there. V'amitzois muteres l'shneihem, and the middle one is muta for both of them. Says the Mishnah Berurah, what's the explanation? Shloisha charovos she'ein bohem diyorin. So there's no residence there; it's just 3 ruins. Uprutza zulazu b'yois me'es amas, and they're all open more than 10 amas. V'yesh lechol achas me'achatzeres chalonos pesuchas lacharovos, and there are windows which are open. There's access by way of the chaloin from the chotzer. You can access it by way of throwing. Kol echod mutter. Each one is mutter to use the churva next to it. Hayil ve'ein loy ba tashmish gomer b'chol. Since they don't really have a proper usage during the week, she'ein loy pesach posuach lo ela chaloin. You haven't got a proper opening. All you've got is a window. Ein piritza mechitza sheprutza zulazu oiseres. That the prutzas they don't asa. And I can use the entire churva next to me. And my friend on the other chotzer across those three churvas doesn't answer on me. Even though the other chotzer could technically use it during the weekday to throw through the walls of the churva, all the way through to the third churva, which is next to me. It's a very hard usage because you're accessing, you've got to be a pretty good shot. You're using it through three churvas all the way across. It's not considered enough of a tashmish to assur it on me, and therefore I can use the one next to me. And the fact that the guy on the other chotzer could technically get there, that's not enough of a usage to assur it for me. So each one can use the churva next to him. But the other one, i.e. the chotzer, the churva, next to my other friend's chotzer, I cannot use it. Sorry, I missed the line. Because he asks it, because my usage asks it for you. Because it's more shaykh to me, it's next to me. I've got a much easier usage, which is not alidei avir. I can lower things into it. Okay, good. In the middle one, we said is muteres l'shnehem. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yutes, shehi omedes b'shava ben shtei charovos, because it's equally used for both churvas. Good. Okay, continuing the mechaber. Now, if you've got three of them, which are somach lebatim, how so? Now here is describing the picture number 22. So can you see that in 22 you've got two churvas? It's quite hard to see in this one. It's actually got a better picture on this one.
Just have to look at the pictures. Just have to look at the pictures
Yeah, absolutely. In Bnei Brak. Hey, look, if you look at picture 11 and 12, you'll see described the first one with the three churvas next to each other. That's what we just described, three churvas next to each other. Here, you've got two churvas, and then you've got a churva stretching across the back. Okay, so it's easier to see in this one. Essentially, that's what picture 22 is. You've got two churvas at the front, and then one churva across the back. So again, so says the mechaber, if you've got three churvas, Keneged Hashtayim. Then the middle one, the third one, is Keneged the Shtayim, Kashleisha Rosh Kankan, like this Rosh Kankan. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you can see it, picture two with one across the back. Kol Echod Mutza B'churba She'etzla. Each one can use the churba next to him. V'hashlishis hakreva l'shtei Chatzeros asur l'shteihem. But now, in this case, we're not allowed to use the back one. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Chof Muteres l'shneihem. Kiven shehi rechoika mishneim. Why? Because it's quite far away. Ve'ein l'shneihem ba tashmish ki maladei zrika ba'avir derech acharobos asmuchos la'ein oisrin zel zeh. And therefore they don't asur it. But Keneged Hashtayim, Rotzolei Meshoysu Meshucha Keneged Orach Shnei Charovos, because it's a little bit further back behind the two Charovos, Umagas Shtei Rosheh L'Shnei Chatzeros, and the two ends of the churvas reach it, Kazeh, right, like in that picture number 22. Asur L'Shteihen, so neither Chatzer can use that back churva. L'fisha Yesh L'Shteihen Tashmish Noach Somach L'Chaloin, Alidei Shilshul V'Osim Zeh Al Zeh, because each have equal access to it, by way of shilshul, lowering things there, and therefore they asr on each other. Even though the two which are somuch to the prutzos we don't ask you to use that little churva which is immediately next to you because that it's open, it's fully open. Okay, good. Dalet. Let's just finish off this simon. Beis hakisei sheben shebein shnei batim. You've got a bathroom which is between two houses, v'lo ervu yachad, and there was no eruv there. So rishus shneihem shletes by. Both Chatzeros, both people have access and usage of it, va'asurim, and therefore they asur. Va'ayin le'el siman shin nun hey. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah Chof Gimel, ayin le'el siman shin nun hey, seif Gimel b'Hagod b'Mishnah Berurah D'Mairi sheb'mokum meishav beis hakisei hayom meyuchad lekol echad levadai. That it's just that what it means is that the bathroom, the beis hakisei itself, is miyuchad to each one, so each one is allowed to use that beis hakisei. V'rak mokum hachafira shelemata she'atzoya nefel hasham, the drainage which takes away the tzoya, hayah shel shneim, belongs to both of them. It actually was sort of jointly owned. V'lochein also, then in that situation it would be also the moitzi mershus l'reshus hashutfin shelo erev imadai. Avlim gam mokum hamoishav hayah moishav shach l'shneim muta. But if the drainage belonged to both of them, then, or shaykh, they had equal access to it, then it would in fact be mutter. V'ayin le'el siman shinun hey, d'sham mavua b'hagod b'sif gimel protah. Dinim v'gam de'em shachach v'erev, if you forgot and you didn't make an erev, but yeah, with mutter lefanos, in a situation where you forgot and you weren't able to use it, because you didn't make an erev, we actually allow it. Why? Because the God will cover dabrius, because again we're talking about the Surah Drabonon, and we say that God will cover dabrius, that it's Doiche Drabonon. So just to summarize Daled, the Beis HaKisei, you've got a Beis HaKisei between both of them, and you didn't make an Eruv, so that because Rishus Shneim Shletes, but both are able to access it, they do Asa. But that specifically, we said, when they both have access to this Beis HaKisei, but they own the drainage system. If they didn't own the drainage system, and they just had access to this Beis HaKisei, it's sort of like a communal one or whatever it is, and the access is also they have access also to the drainage, then that would actually be allowed. But b'chol ofen, in a situation of kavod abrius, we would allow it because it's drabonon, and kavod abrius is always doichet drabonon. Okay, say that.